And we both majored in art history. So, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, first of all, your last name is Haruchi?
Um,
How do I?
well, at the time when I first wrote to her, it was the name I was born with is Ikeda, Ikeda.
Okay.
Horiuchi is my married name.
Uchi is it R-I, Horiuchi.
Riuchi. Yeah, and actually I'm a widow because my husband passed
Okay.
a while ago.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Horiuchi, for joining us today. Start off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and under the circumstances that you first met Renee?
Okay, well actually I never met her, but I wrote letters to her. I was a student at UC Riverside, and I took a class. I forget the exact title, but it was women in, I think, something like art, culture, literature. And we were supposed to do a report to pick a woman. And since I had an interest in the Japanese American internment camps, I wanted to find someone that had either been an artist or I can't remember if I already knew about her book, but I wanted to do a report on someone that had something to do with the internment camps.
I'm sorry, hang on for a second. These touchscreens are tricky.
Tricky.
It says it's okay. Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead and ask that question again, please.
Okay. To start off, could you tell us about yourself and?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Oh, the next one.
You were going to
Okay.
the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us how your friendship with Renee developed and what impact did it have on your own world views and ambitions?
Okay. Well, when I finished my report, and the librarian at the special collection said, she's still alive, which was, because a lot of people were doing reports on women that had, of course, passed away. They said, she's still alive, and, we have her address. So they gave me her address, and so I wrote her a letter, and I sent her a copy of my report. And then I guess over the years, I've exchanged some letters, but I was put on her. She had like a Christmas card that she put out every year. It was kind of like a block print, like a Chinese New Year animal. And so I guess after writing her, she would mail me this annual Christmas card. And usually there would be like a little Xerox letter, but usually she would insert like a few comments that she would, write, or she would scribble a drawing on it. And so I guess I, received her cards for many years, and I saved them.
Were you surprised to hear back from her when you first contacted Renee?
Yes, I think I was, because, when someone's well known, I mean, I wrote to her, but I don't think I expected to hear from her necessarily. So I think in a way, yes, I was surprised to get a response from her.
And then you developed quite a relationship with her, not in Christmas cards, but also letter writing correspondence over the years?
Well, because I really at one point, I guess, well, people used to write letters, but I really enjoyed letter writing. So I would, write her these really long letters. Usually what I received from her would be like maybe like short notes or, not really long letters. but I know on occasion, write her some fairly long letters that I enjoyed letter writing.
Does her work mean something personal to you outside of the story of internment as you got to know her? Does her artwork mean something to you personally?
I think what I admired about her, well, of course, her camp art, is pretty amazing, and all the notes she took and wrote about it, in her Citizen book. But I think what impressed me was after she did I guess she was a commercial artist for a while, and then after she left commercial art, she kind of went on her own path, I guess you could say. Because what I read, she said she was always looking for, I don't know, what to discover about her own art or her own true expression, away from being a commercial artist. So I really admired that she persevered like that and she was true to herself.
You referenced Citizen 1366. Do you have a favorite drawing of hers in that book, would you say? Or can you recall any one that stood out?
I think what I liked were some that were like semi-humorous, whether she was teaching kids art or, I don't know, she just was very, very observant. And some of it had like a touch of humor in it. So, I think I don't know, it just was her observations I thought were really outstanding.
And in looking at her work, would you say that you can see that humor in it? Some of her work seems fairly whimsical and a combination of animals. And would you say that you can see the humor in some of her work, maybe?
Yes, I think some of her later work has a very playful quality in it. Well, of course, there's ones with kids, and she loved cats, and then her colors are very vibrant. And so, yes, I do see a very playful side to it. What I observed in some of her work when she was a student in Europe, I believe, is some of the, I guess she was kind of looking at some of the styles that were going on, the very bulky figures or just different things that she experimented with that were trends, I think, at the time.
Now, I understand that you received a gift in the mail one day from Renee. Can you share with us what that was?
Yes, one day I received a package from her, and I was very surprised because when I opened it, it was a small painting. So it was already matted, but I was just really surprised, and it was kind of I guess it was kind of a thank you for the paper I sent her, but I just was really surprised to receive a painting from her.
And did you think that she was as famous as she was at that time? Because you.
I knew she was a well-known artist. I knew, and in the Japanese American community, I knew that her book, was well-known. So I just was really, I guess you say, surprised and pleased to receive the gift.
Much of her work was created in response to the atrocities experienced by Japanese Americans in internment camps over 70 years. Do you think that it's important for younger generations to learn about Renee's work, and is her message relevant today?
I think it's very relevant, and in fact, I know, because the Japanese American community, having gone through that experience, and I know at one point I got active and I was, lobbying when they were lobbying for redress. So I actually went on a lobby to Washington, D.C. with a community group, But I know when 9/11 happened, and they were calling to, to round up Muslim Americans. I know that the Japanese American community spoke out very forcefully against it, because they've had that experience. And I know currently, like, they're talking about registration for Muslim Americans, and I know Japanese Americans, again, are speaking out very forcefully. Some, a lot of them that were in camp are speaking out against it, and some that were maybe born in camp or were kids in camp, like George Takei, who's, the well-known, the Sulu actor in Star Trek. I know he's, come out against it. So I think it's very relevant. Unfortunately, even today, that it's actually kind of sad that it might still be relevant, but it is.
In your correspondence, and I've had an opportunity to read some of the correspondence between you and Monet, it struck me as how comfortable you became with her and sharing your life with her. And did she turn out to be sort of a long distance confidant to you or a mentor of some kind?
At that period, at a certain period of my life, I just enjoyed writing letters a lot. So if I wrote a letter to someone, that I often would like share, what was going on. I don't think she became like a confidant, like, as you say. Usually the correspondence I would get from her would be very short. But at that period of my life, I enjoyed writing, I guess you could say, writing long letters to someone, especially because I admired her.
The internment, would you say the exhibit that we have here at the Social Justice Center, are the internment pieces more important to you than her other works, would you say?
I like it because I think the whole range, I like seeing the whole range. Not just her internment art. There's even, I believe, some pieces that she did before the period when she was younger, and then, but I like seeing the whole range. Like there's from her, I believe, her commercial period, and then later when she left commercial art and she was experimenting with different kinds of, styles. So I like how it shows like the whole range throughout her life.
What's that?
Did you need to stop?
No, no.
So you, when Monet was in New York, and her New York period of art, it's contemporary, part Picasso, the various movements. Would you say that she was exploring the environment around her? Because it was so different from her works that she had done previous. What do you think about that period of her artwork?
For what I've read on her, and she talked about trying to find her true means of expression, or she had been exposed to, she had a lot of, art background, and she knew of a lot of artists. So I don't know, her art is just so different. So, some of the art you can see influence from other artists, and other art just seems to be very, I don't know, just very original that she was experimenting with.
I noticed that when we have visitors to the center, when they begin the exhibit of Monet Kubo, one of their comments is that you wouldn't know it was the same artist by the time that you walk through the exhibit and complete it. It changes that drastically. In its content, in its mediums, in its subject matter.
I think, actually, I think it's true not only of her, but I think there's a lot of artists that they might be well known for a certain thing. Like she's well known for internment art. but then she went different directions because I went to a comprehensive exhibit of Picasso where it shows, and he, even though he's best known for his Cubist style, that he experimented with quite a lot of different styles, and apparently he was painting up to almost till the day he died. So I think, I don't, I mean, I know she's known for the internment art, but my feeling is that maybe it's not that unusual for an artist to, try different styles.
Would you say that if her document, basically she documented her entire life experiences wherever she was, and part of that was the internment camp experience, and which is so important because of the history for the Japanese American and for the country. Would you say that Monet wanted to send them to leave that legacy for the Japanese Americans, and so that it would never be forgotten as she folded it into so much of her artwork?
I think yes. I think she sought to record it. That, I mean, that was her as an artist. That was how she expressed herself, and so I think she deliberately, sought to record the history. I've seen other artwork from other internment camp artists, and I think I guess, well, I mean, they're artists, and that's how they express themselves. And so, yes, I do think it was important for her to record it, to have this record of what it was like.
And so you never met Monet, even though you were in Washington, D.C., and you were, why is that? You were always in different places at different times? Because you had a fairly long, how many years relationship?
I think from, let's see, when did I first write her? Probably was it late 70s, 79 or something, until I guess fairly close to her death, because I would get the yearly Christmas card. Well, the time I was in Washington, D.C., it was specifically for the lobby, for the redress. So we flew out there and then we came back. And I couldn't really afford to travel out to New York to visit her. So, and then she was in New York. So I don't believe she really traveled, did she?
No, I
Uh-huh.
she did. She played an active role in the redress.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely.
Uh-huh. So we were on opposite coasts. It's true, I would have really enjoyed meeting her, but I never had a chance to meet her.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us about your experience with Monet over the years? What value it has been to you, or just sharing about the experience of getting to know an artist and a historical artist like Monet and Kudo?
Uh-huh. I just thought it was just really nice, every year, getting that yearly Christmas card, and then I guess I would send her a card or whatever. I don't know, it just was really nice. I know none of my friends, got her card, and I had a lot of friends who worked on the redress. So I don't know, it just felt very special.
Well, thank you for sharing your experiences and continuing Monet's legacy along with us. We look forward to seeing some of your works, and thank you so much for joining us and sharing your experience with us.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.